We just boarded.
From the flight
We are now going to Punta Cana.
Today.
Still, it is a surprise. I really don't know much about it.
Today. From takeoff to landing, it's going to take 3 hours
I'm
and
yet
19
to
minutes and 36
discover. We are set to go to Santo Domingo. It's an excursion. Let us find out when we get there. It's part of the surprise. We are on our way to Santo Domingo. I don't know what it is, but we are yet to discover. This time is just discovery. Here is the story.
The first trip. That was on December 5th, 1492. Christopher Columbus departed from the Palos de Moguer from Spain on August 3rd, 1492. His first destination was the Bahama Island, San Salvador, on October 12, 1492. His second destination, the first trip, was Cuba, October 27, 1492. And the third one was the island Hispaniola. He came in the north part of the Dominican Republic, in a place that is called Puerto Plata, the Hambre Coast, and he discovered that in the first trip. The first governor of the island was the brother of Christopher Columbus, whose name was Bartolome Columbus. When they discovered the island, the brother of Christopher Columbus came to Santo Domingo, and that was the place was founded the first city of America. So all the premises that we have in Latin America are coming from Santo Domingo, the first city of America. He built the first city of America, but the first city was partially destroyed because of a hurricane in 1498. And then there was a second governor of the island, whose name was Nicolás Obando, who built the Colonial city that we're going to visit today. Then, at the beginning, after the discovery of America, we used to be a Spanish colony. The whole island used to be a Spanish colony. But then, there was a lot of people from Europe. They were interested to take over the island Hispaniola, because here we have a lot of gold, and we had many species that were very useful for the Europeans. So people from Portugal, France, and England, they were trying to take over the city. However, the Spanish people, they made a wall in the whole perimeter of the city to avoid that any enemy could come inside. So in the Colonial city, we have a perimeter wall that was basically used for the protection of the Spanish crown. But then some of the islands were taken by the French people, and then in 1697 there was a war between France and Spain. France wins the war. After they win the war, there was a division on the island. With the agreement of Ryswick, there was an agreement that was made between France and Spain. The western part of the island would belong to the French people. The eastern part of the island should belong to the Spanish people. For that reason, in our neighboring republic in the west, Haiti, they speak Creole and French because there used to be a French colony. However, here in the Dominican Republic, we speak Spanish because we used to be a Spanish colony. So, in Haiti, the most important economical activity was the coffee and cacao exportation. Here in the Dominican Republic, during the Spanish Crown, the most important activity was the sugarcane production. As they didn't have enough people here to work, they had to take Africans to come here to work here in this part of the island to cut the sugarcane. And like that, there was a lot of high level of prosperity for both colonies on both sides. A few years later, in 1789, was the origin of what we call the Great French Revolution, that caused the origin of what we call the Napoleonic Wars. With the Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, there was several Europe, like the first collusion between France and Spain. So Napoleon Bonaparte defeated Spain on the first coalition of the Napoleonic Wars, and that was in 1795. after they won Spain, was made a treaty of Ryswick, in which the whole island would be a French colony. So eastern part was French, western part was also French. For that reason, it was compulsory here in the Dominican Republic to learn French, a second foreign language, and we have a French constitution. The first constitution that we have is what we call the Napoleon Codes. So the civil rights for the Napoleon Codes was the first constitution of the Dominican Republic. But then, in 1804, Haiti became the first country in America, in the Caribbean, that made their independence against the French people. So freedom from the western part of the island, from the Haitians. And then, after Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated on the Sixth Coalition in Waterloo in Europe, we got our freedom from the French people to be reoccupied by the Spanish ones. So we were reoccupied by the French and Spanish people for the second time until 1821. In 1821 was the moment that was the first foundation of the first Dominican Republic against the Spanish people. But then, after we got our freedom of the Spanish people, comes the origin of what we call the Haitian Empire. So we were dominated by Haiti. Between 1822 and 1844, we were dominated by the Haitians until we got our freedom against the Haitian people on February 27, 1844. So, in the tour that we are doing today, you will see flags in many places to memorize the Dominicans' independence against the Haitians. So, February 27, 1844 was the moment of the Dominican independence against the Haitian people. That's why this month is declared the month of independence. We're gonna have, in a few days, I think that's gonna be the day after tomorrow, it's the National Day of Independence, and we're gonna have the carnival that is going to be in Santo Domingo. So if you have time to come in the weekend to see how it's a Dominican carnival to celebrate independence, you can come to Santo Domingo to see it. After we got our freedom against the Haitian people, we have a parliamentary democratic system. Then a few years later, in 1930, we had a dictator whose name was Trujillo. Trujillo was a dictator here for a period of 31 years. And then he was murdered in 1961. So after the death of Trujillo, we have a social democratic political system where we're making elections every 4 years. In the Republic, we have a population at about 10 million inhabitants. At least 700,000 are Haitians. The others are Dominican. We have many foreigners that are living here in the Dominican Republic. Santo Domingo is the capital of the Dominican. usted, Dr. Chopin? Moises. So the tour that we are doing today, we have to go to the Colonial City. There we're going to visit the Cinematheque, the first Cathedral of America. Then we're going to the Colonial Market where you can buy souvenirs. At 12 o'clock we're going to have lunch. And after lunch we're going to visit the second historical part. After visiting the second historical part, we are going to the Presidential Palace. In the Presidential, so it's going to be a tour very intensive where we're going to see many touristic attractions in the Colonial City. built by the dictator Trujillo on August 16th, 1947. The president ¿Cómo?
Presidente actual de
Abinader, Luis Abinader. So here you can see the presidential palace. We're gonna make a little stop over here so you can take some pictures, and then we're going to the Colonial City. The Columbus Lighthouse, they began to build it here in the middle of the 50s when Trujillo was a dictator. As Trujillo was already murdered, then they decided to continue the construction in 1972. The President Balaguer asked for economical support to all the people in Latin America to build the Columbus Lighthouse. The Columbus Lighthouse, that is the one you see back there, it was built in form of a cross. Built in form of a cross because it represents the official religion of the Dominican Republic. In the Dominican population, 89% of the people here are Catholic. Because during the time that we were colonized by the Spanish people, there was the Inquisition. Inquisition means it was compulsory to be Catholic. You had two choices. Either you believe or you die. So what you should do? Believe or die? No, that's why the Columbus Lighthouse was built in form of a cross to represent the official religion of the Dominican Republic. In this monument, we have the remains of Christopher Columbus. At the beginning, they used to be the first cathedral of America they were going to visit, and then the remains were brought here when this was inaugurated in 1992. On the left side, you're going to see a mobile. It's the Papa Mobile where come the Pope John Paul II to make the inauguration of the Columbus Lighthouse. So here you can see the Papa Mobile, where he came when he visited here, the inauguration of the Columbus Lighthouse. She was also the granddaughter of the king from Spain, Fernando from Aragon, and they were living down there in the Columbus Alcazar. So in order to walk, she had 30 ladies who used to accompany her. In honor of the 30 ladies that used to accompany her, we have the first tree over here that is called the Ladies' Street. As I told you in the tour, we had in the Colonial City a protection wall for the whole city. So in this protection wall, they had a wall that is the wall that you see over there. They only had two entrances to go to the Colonial City. So the idea of this protection wall was to avoid that the enemies of the Spanish crown from Portugal, France, and England could come inside of the city. So, as in this part over here, we have the Caribbean Sea. Any ship that would try to go inside of the Colonial City has to come inside in this direction. So here, they had the Otama Fortress. Up there, they had the Tower of Vigilance to control any ship that could be unknown. So, when ships that were not recognized by the Spanish crown were trying to come inside, they had one special rule. They used to shoot and then ask, where are you going? That was the welcome and shoot from the Spanish people against the enemy, Portugal, France, and England. Then, inside of this place over here, in the Otama Fortress, they had a prison. So they can make vacations here for free, security service, everything for free. And then they had the interrogation room. Who sent you? What are you looking for? Why are you here? So, after the interrogation room, inside over here, they had also the strangulation room. The strangulation to hang the people so they can be murdered in front of everyone. And that was the way how the Spanish people used to come over here to receive their enemy that were coming from France. There was only a guy who was able to take over the city during the time that we were used to belong to the Spanish crown. There was a mercenary, I repeat, a mercenary whose name was Francis Drake. He was the only one who was able to attack the city during the period that we used to belong to the Spanish crown. And he stayed here maybe at least 25 or 30 days, and after he got all the gold and all the jewels that he stole here in the Colonial City, he went back to the other small Antilles like San Martin, Dominic, and Guadeloupe to continue studying the jewels that used to belong to the French and Spanish people. Okay, so now you can take some picture. We're continuing the other languages.
That's the largest ship. It is called, sorry. Second largest. The name is smallest.
Latin goes back to 1570. When I ask the people, what does this look like? Look at it. Rolling pin? What else? Syringe. Oh. No, but it looks like lavativa. Lavativa. Lavar in Spanish, lavar is to wash. Go to back to wash. We what? If they say go, vete, go, y lavate, go and wash. So they used to use this to introduce the enema to the regular when we were sick. In my group, I asked the people who feel sick. Because when we go to the pharmacy, you don't say, no, I feel well, I feel good. When you take this out.
That's what you get.
There was a smaller one for the kids. But the enema to the regular with that. That is called apothecary ice. And it's called apothecary ice because you know that the native didn't know how to read. But the color plant of the leaf that used to be put in front of the drawers, they knew what kind of medicine they was going to make. But the Europeans, they knew how to read. That's why it's written in front of the drawers. There's a lot of things that is over 600 years that we still use today. For example, who likes cinnamon? Cinnamon?
Yeah, we use cinnamon.
Who likes garlic?
We do.
Sesame on the bones and stuff. Anise, anise. And ginger.
Yes.
Right here, yes.
Another one. Who cooks what parts of the heat? Oregano. Mustard on the hot dogs. Honey. Manteca is the name that you call it, it's the oil that we fry. Okay. And this soap, I still use it today. I buy it all the time in my house. The Jabón de Castilla. This is the soap that the doctors recommend the ladies when they give birth to wash the infant, the newborns, because it's gentle on the skin and it's not the rough. Like I feel like I'm a baby. I still use it today. Yes. Take a picture when you get the opportunity, look it up and do the translation. And you're going to see there's a lot of things still there that we used to do. It's been a pleasure to serve the people.
We learned all this old history. It was so rich. So rich. Now we are heading for lunch. It was lunch before going to church, and this is where we are going to eat.
Buenas, bienvenidos.
Hola.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156
That is Osama River, and it is 28 feet deep. Oh.
Unfortunately, then our dictatorship declared it monument and declared it monuments of the national heroes of the Dominican history. Now the national pantheon that you see over here is being restored. That's why we cannot go inside.
Factory. My name is Angela. Here you have the factory. In the factory you make everything the jewelry. You have done the Latimer, black coral, and amber.
Wir haben hier Bechstein und das ist hier Schwarzkorall. Das sind Fossilsteine der Dominik.
Here you have the Latimer, the national stone.
No, traduco.
Sorry. Here I said we have the Latimer, the national stone. Like this example we have in the original, this unpolished and finished. The name, Lari, for your daughter Laritza, Mar, and the color, the ocean, choosing the combination, and the Larimar. And this is the love stone. See, como love, is the stone and the Larimar. Here example have the black coral. The black coral is mollusk 100% met on the ocean. Like this example we have in the original, this unpolished and finished. The black coral, this is for protection and the nervous. And the person, the you protection, put it here and make it relax.
Das ist hier Schwarzkorall, das ist Stress und das ist auch.
And here example you have the amber. The amber is in different country. The amber is in the resin. The name Algarrobo. In Dominican Republic, we have the 5 colors different the amber. We have blue, green, yellow, black, and red. And only Dominican Republic, we have the blue amber. Center. Look like this the color. This is darker. And the sun change different color like this. Okay? Amarillo, rojo, verde, azul y negro. Y el azul, mira este. Mira cómo se ve ahí. En el sol se ve así. Okay. Look at this special ring, the name Happy Hour. One day, example, the Latimer, the love stone. All day, amber, for money and good love. Okay? And they love and the money. On my brother, example, have protection, love, and money. Everything the jewelry you make it in the factory. This really silver 925, you have in gold, 14 karat gold. For you have certification, the guarantee in English and Spanish, the Latimer, amber, and black coral. Thank you so much.
We are now done shopping, so we bought a lot of stuff, and it has costed us 6,000 pesos. We are learning a lot of stuff here. So now we are preparing to the main event that brought us here. Okay, let us meet there. On our way to the church. One of the oldest cathedrals church in Santo Domingo. you also have to cover your shoulders and thighs. If you don't, they will provide you with this to cover yourself. You see, these ones had not covered their shoulders and thighs. Christopher Columbus.
Muy buenos precios. Cathedral of America, of our Holy Lady of Incarnation. So now, what is the name?
Once more.
First, Basilic, Metropolitan Cathedral of America, of our Holy Lady of Mary of Reincarnation. Now you can repeat it. City center of the Colonial city. The name of the park is Columbus Park. This is the place for people used to come to buy and sell the
Just came from the church. We feel so blessed. We are now ready to take our special dinner.